Hello. Welcome back from spring break. This is a little bit of an overview about what the rest of the semester looks like. So there's no activity C, obviously, so we'll just be grading A and B. The tentative finals questions have been posted, so you're gonna, actually they're in this video, and we'll be going over those as well. Okay. Going forward, your presentations are due by 7 p.m. on the day your group's papers were due. So for instance, group A needs to have their papers up, their presentations up today by 7. And then Wednesday's group B, will need to have their presentations up by 7 p.m. on Wednesday. I'm going to compile both the Monday and Wednesday videos and put them up by Thursday at 4 o'clock. So you're not really going to check in Monday and Wednesday unless you have a paper due. You're going to check in on Thursday for that whole week's assignments. I hope that makes sense. In terms of what the rest of the semester looks like, it's basically your peers' videos on policy. One thing I want you to look at is, how is policy executed in California? How do federal, state, local governments work together to deliver government programs? So we'll be looking at things like education, the environment, housing, things like that. And kind of apply what happened in the first half of the semester to the various policy areas. There will be brief activities to help you integrate the ideas, and one of the final questions will ask you to draw from 3 of the 8 policy areas and to discuss how policy is executed. So probably one of the policies you'll do is the policy you uploaded, but you're actually going to have to do look at 2 of the others in that same kind of critical light. The final itself is 2 questions. Each are worth 50 points for 100 points total. The current wording is tentative, but the idea will be the same. So you can start thinking about the questions, but you won't want to do them. I'll have the final question up about 2 weeks before it's due. The final itself is due May 14th at 4 p.m. And I please stick to the word limit. So I have kind of a general way of grading all of them in comparison to each other. Okay, the first question is about policy, and the question is, how does the state and local government execute policy in California? Use examples from at least 3 of the policy groups to justify your answer, and that's what I was just talking about. This is 50 points. It should be between 400 and 600 words. That is roughly 3 to 4 pages type, but do it however makes do a word count, not a page count. But you can do it double space, you can do it single space, you can do it in any font you want. I mean, it's just basically I'm looking at 400 to 600 words. When you're viewing the policy discussions over the next 4 weeks, I want you to look at those presentations and then integrate the institutions as described in the first half of the semester. So think about when somebody says the state legislature did X, think about how we talked about the state legislature in the first half of the course. Question 2 is about kind of how California's response to the coronavirus. So the question is, how did California state and local governments respond to the coronavirus? Describe why and how the executive and bureaucratic arms of the government were more important than the legislative and judicial arms. In what way did California government help residents, and in what ways did they need improvement? Use examples from the state level, and then responses in 3 areas: the Bay Area, Southern California, and then 1 or more less populous areas. You can combine those into a paragraph. So basically, you're going to, the first paragraph you're going to, or the first paragraph or 2, you're going to look at how what the response of the state and local governments were to the coronavirus. The next kind of segment is describing why the executive and bureaucratic arms of government are more important than legislative and judicial arms in something like this. So you're going to refer back to the textbook and other readings to look at how the institutions of government impacted the delivery of policy in this critical time. And then third, fourth, and fifth paragraphs will be and sixth paragraphs will be applying that to the state level, and then the three local areas. This is worth 50 points as well, and it's 400 to 600 words as well. In answering question 2, I will be doing weekly coronavirus updates as they relate to California government. You're going to draw from these updates your own experience through the crisis, and then refer back to the textbook and previous lectures for theories about the institutions of California state and local government. And the idea behind this is that somehow that you will integrate the theory of government, as we discussed in the pre-spring break portion of the class, to the actual policy as delivered in this time of crisis. So if you have any questions, let me know. But that's what the class going forward looks like.